Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be covering the Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. hero. With the second season of the show just around the corner, starting in 2021, I finally decided to go and actually watch the first season, because it was meme. In early 2019, S.H.I.E.L.D. hero was meme central in the anime community. There were so many memes being made about it. And I didn't understand any of them because I hadn't watched the show. But I now have. So let's get into it. The story of the Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. hero, we follow Naofumi Iwatani. But for the sake of it, we're just going to call him Naofumi because that's what he calls himself, and that's what everyone else calls him. So just Naofumi. And he is, just like Kazuma and Subaru, a massive otaku, just like they were before they got isekai'd. The difference is, Kazuma got isekai'd because he died. Subaru got isekai'd out of nowhere. We still don't know how we still don't know how Subaru got isekai'd. And Naofumi got isekai'd by he went into the library one day and opened a specific book, and basically it just teleported him to a new world. And this is where he meets Ren, Itsuki, and Motoyasu, the other three of the four cardinal heroes, which is what Naofumi has become part of. We have Motoyasu is the spear hero, Itsuki is the bow hero, and Ren is the sword hero. So yeah, we have sword, shield, bow. Sword, shield, bow, spear. Those are the four cardinal heroes of the world. And the four of them are all taken to the king of the country that they've landed in. And they are given their roles as the specific hero that they are. And they are given allies that go to help them go on adventures. Except Naofumi doesn't actually get anybody because no one likes him for some reason. Everybody has a personal vendetta against him for some strange reason. So, this woman known as Mine, you know who she is, you all know who she is, offers to partner up with Naofumi for the start of his adventure. So the two of them go around killing very, very weak enemies as they're extremely low level. So they go around killing off the weakest of all the enemies that they can. And then later at night, while they're drinking together, Naofumi decides he's gonna pack it in for the day and go to bed after the room he rented with Mine. So he goes up to his room and goes to sleep. And Mine does not re-enter the room again at any point. Instead, Naofumi is put right at the front, right into the king's throne room, right in front of him, in front of everybody, and Mine accuses him of basically the R word. When you force someone to do something they don't want to do, you know, the R word. I won't say, but I'm pretty sure you can figure out what I mean. So Naofumi gets outcasted from the very beginning of the show, which kind of sucks for him because he's only just got here and he ain't done anything wrong. But yet, the other three cardinal heroes already hate him, despite they barely know him. So Naofumi has no partner. So what he decides to do is go to this slave trader. And he finds this slave, this half-human, half-raccoon girl, as one of the slaves. This, of course, is Raftalia. We all know Raftalia, don't we? We all know her. And we all love the jokes of we all love the jokes of Naofumi doesn't friend zone Raftalia, he family zones her. Friend zone is where you'd say the person is like a brother to you, brother or a sister to you. Family zoning is where, that's what I've called it. I've called it family zoning, when Naofumi says he thinks of Raftalia as a daughter over anything else. He thinks of her as a daughter because she's so much younger than him. So Naofumi decides to buy Raftalia as a slave, but doesn't treat her as a slave. She has this slave crest about here, which basically hurts her if she goes against anything he says. Anything Naofumi says, if she doesn't do it, if she says no, that thing will kick in and start hurting her. So the two of them are basically bonded now, going around defeating the low-level enemies. But yet, everyone else in the kingdom tries to frame this in a way of Naofumi is literally making Raftalia his slave, which he isn't. He's not making her a slave, that's just what she was. So then, a few more days pass, and then they find an egg. This egg hatches, and a tiny little bird comes out and instantly flies onto Naofumi's head. This bird is part of a race called Philera, and the bird's name is Philo. You all know who she is. She's a pretty large bird that can transform back into a small human girl, and she's pretty fast and powerful. And then the event that basically why Naofumi, Motoyasu, Ren, and Itsuki were summoned to the world, to this world in the first place. The event triggers of why they were summoned in the first place, to fight off these things called waves. They're basically an event where a ton of enemies attack a certain area, of which Naofumi, Raftalia, and Philo defend. And what they end up doing is they actually are saving and helping villagers that the other three heroes think that they're helping, but in actual fact they aren't. But Naofumi never gets pushed around. This is why I like him so much as a character. He doesn't allow himself to be pushed around. If people are treating him badly, he will treat them badly. If they treat him well, he will do the same back. It's basically like the advice, treat people how you would want to be treated, even though in real life that's a load of BS and doesn't actually work. But yeah, Naofumi basically takes that literally. If people are assholes to him, he'll be one back. But if people are respectful to him, he'll be respectful back. And yeah, with him being the shield hero, he can't actually fight. He can defend, but in terms of attack, he doesn't really have much. This is why Raftalia and Philo are his main forces of attack. And Motoyasu gets pretty angry at Naofumi getting so much credit from villagers that he's actually helped, that he basically challenges Naofumi to a one-on-one duel. So the two of them start face off against each other, and Naofumi is actually winning the duel. He's using the new skills he picked up, such as airstrike, which is where he creates a green shield and shoots it as like a projectile, and shield prison, where he basically captures his opponent in a big giant green ball, yarn looking ball. And basically, he was going to win until that bitch Mine gets involved and cheats. She uses some magic from the shadows that only Naofumi could see, which then allows Motoyasu to get the upper hand, and he wins the duel. Very unfairly. Later on, it is exposed that even Ren and Itsuki expose Mine for cheating in the duel. And basically Naofumi, Raftalia and Philo, who for the longest time everyone was saying that Naofumi had used his shield to brainwash the two of them, which he hadn't, basically was basically outcasted even more, and basically felt that he had to leave. The king and Mine definitely were conspiring against him to screw him over in every possible way, because they don't like the fact that he is receiving more credit for in the waves than everyone else, because he's actually actively doing something about it. Next, they're on their way to a different country, but they're all wanted. All three of them are now wanted for something they didn't even do. So as they're on their way leaving, this small girl known as Melty, who is actually the second princess of the country and Mine's younger sister, making her and Mine the daughters of the king. And basically, what happens is a bunch of knights bring Melty to Naofumi, Raftalia and Philo, and basically try to have her. They've taken her hostage, but they've tried to frame it in a way to push her to basically make it look like Naofumi killed her. They were planning on killing her, but framing Naofumi for it, as they were recording it on this like crystal ball thing that they were gonna use as footage to show everybody in the country what Naofumi did. However, this backfires on the knights because Naofumi grabs hold of Melty and uses his shield to block the attack. Raftalia and Philo kick the crap out of the rest of the knights, and they all retreat. Then they heavily edit the footage to make it look like Philo, Raftalia and Naofumi are actively attacking the knights and trying to abduct Melty, which they're not. Instead, Naofumi actually promises Melty that he will protect her with his life, which he does. Instead, they flee to a country filled with Philo's race. And on their way, they end up fighting this giant dragon creature, of which Naofumi uses a brand new technique in his shield called Cursed Shield, where he basically goes into a full-blown rage and becomes extremely strong. It's kind of, I guess a good way to explain it would be the Kaioken in Dragon Ball. A big power boost for a short period of time. That's basically what the Cursed Shield ability does for Naofumi. And when they defeat the dragon, Naofumi Raptalia is able to bring him back to sanity, and the dragon actually ate Philo, but Philo kicks her way out of the dragon from the inside and survives. Then they arrive in the country of Philo's race and meet the queen of her race called Vittoria, who takes down this giant monster creature that the king of her country uses a seal to unseal the monster. She takes it down with relative ease, and this village is actually part of the villages that near of where Raftalia was born. And this king is not killed. Originally, Raftalia was going to murder him, but then she chose not to. So then he tried to kill them, and Raftalia accidentally knocked him out the window, but he actually survived and was able to break open this seal for this giant monster creature, which Vittoria takes down. Then Vittoria and Naofumi have a private chat where she tells him that basically if the four cardinal heroes, so him, Ren, Itsuki and Motoyasu, don't make up and start working together, she'll kill all four of them. So yeah, that's pretty unnerving. One of the leaders of the demi-humans, who is a full human, is captured by this king, but is then rescued by Naofumi, Raptalia, Philo and Melty. And later on, they go back to the original country that they were born in. And Melty says that Naofumi did not abduct her at any point. It was all a lie. It was all a lie. And that Mine wanted to have Melty killed off because the next person in line for the throne was Melty, not Mine. Despite Mine being the second princess, not the first, she was in line of the throne next instead of Mine. And then everything comes out and gets exposed as the queen of the country, who is actually the leader. The queen is the king actually was the one that married into royalty. The queen already was royalty, so she is the overall embarking leader, and she has a lot of respect for Naofumi, and she plans on having Mine and her own husband, the king, executed by guillotines. Which is, personally, that does not happen. I'd have been happy if it did, but it doesn't. Instead, Naofumi decides, instead of having them killed, have their names legally changed. So he changed the name of the king to Trash, so everyone should address him as Trash. And they changed Mine's name to Bitch. Now it all makes sense why everybody calls Mine Bitch. Because her name in the actual show literally gets changed to that. And then the queen brings up a point of, but what about on adventures? What would she be called what would adventurers call her? What would her adventurer name be? And Naofumi thinks, why don't we go with Slut? So yes. And some of the characters actually end up referring to Mine as Bitch and Slut, which is pretty funny. I mean, that's exactly what she is. Trying to frame Naofumi from the beginning. However, in the very next wave, a woman called Glass appears, who is insanely strong and takes down all 3 of the cardinal heroes that aren't Naofumi. Only through his rage-cursed shield technique and ability does he survive. Does he not get taken down by her? And then, after the wave had ended, she leaves. This isn't the last time we see her. As there's this guy, Also, when Naofumi, Philo, Melty, and Raptalia were on the run, they went through a forest to get to the country with Vittoria and all of Philo's race. Where basically they set it on fire and framed Naofumi for it, and they also framed Naofumi for killing Ren and Itsuki despite they weren't even dead. He got framed for killing people that aren't even dead. Everyone had such a massive vendetta against him throughout the whole show, but this is why I like Naofumi so much, because he all of these vendettas and agendas that people have against him, he shoves it straight back in their faces by being the hero that gets the most credit during the waves. Which is something that they want, but they can't have, because they're not putting in the same effort that Naofumi's party are. Then they find this Pope who calls all 4 of the cardinal heroes sinners. Of course. What is it with crazy cults and sinning and all that? So, in order to defeat him, the 4 cardinal heroes actually do work together. Especially Naofumi and Motoyasu. They work together to take him down, only for the Queen to finish him off. That was the first time they'd met the Queen of the country. She finished him off with some ice magic. But after all that was done, they went on to this adventure, or they went to this new island called Calmira, and basically it was an island known as a pretty damn good XP farming spot. So all the heroes set their way off, and Naofumi, Raptalia, Philo, and Philo meet these 2 people. One of them is called, there's this guy called Lark and this woman called Therese. And basically, Therese asks Naofumi if his shield will be able to create something for her, and it's basically a bracelet with a jewel on it, a red jewel on it. And basically, they do some XP grinding and farming, like you would in a normal RPG game. And the next wave, they end up going to the bottom of the sea and finding that there's actually another wave, another hourglass that basically counts down to the next wave. That's how waves started. They were counted down by an hourglass. Once the hourglass ran out of sand and had all its sand go to the bottom, the wave began. But the crazy thing is, Lark and Therese actually start fighting against Naofumi, Raptalia, and Philo, and Glass reappears and joins them, where basically they are actually from yet a different another world. They are also from a different world, and basically, in order to to fend off the waves in their world and save it. The people in Naofumi's world have to die. The heroes of Naofumi's world, so him, Motoyasu, Ren, and Itsuki, have to die. But Glass has one fatal error. The Soul Eater shield, not to be confused with the anime Soul Eater, completely different thing. The shield turns into a Soul Eater shield where it basically can suck out her life force. But yeah, then the wave ends, and they head back to their own world, and they go back to one of the villages Raptalia was born in at the end, and a Keel-kun, who was one of Raptalia's friends at childhood, who was saved during the attack of the castle, or the castle of the country that that Philo's race live in. And basically, Naofumi basically becomes the local lord of that village, which pleases Raptalia, and she tells him emotionally that she doesn't want him to leave and go back to his own world, because she wants to stand by him, as she explains many times throughout the season. She is his sword. And that is where the Rising of Shield Hero comes to an end. Season 2 starts in 2021, and I'm pretty excited for it. We're definitely... Lark, Therese, and Glass 100% will return in Season 2. There's no way they can't return. After how we saw them at the end of Season 1, they will definitely return in Season 2. And now that Naofumi is the local lord of an area of land, I wonder how that will go throughout the next season. How will that place fare for the oncoming waves? But yeah, another pretty fun and enjoyable isekai show. A show that actually made a shield look like a more impressive weapon than a sword, a spear, and a bow. Naofumi is an amazing protagonist because he doesn't take shit from anybody. If people are willing to try and screw him over, he will screw them over back. He doesn't allow anyone to walk over him. He doesn't allow people to have their way with him. He does what he feels is necessary to people. So yeah, that is what I think of the Rising of Shield Hero. I love all of the characters in Naofumi's party. Him, Philo, Raptalia, Melty. I love all 4 of them. Mine does her job very, very well. As I feel that she's meant to be the most hated character in the show. That's the point, and she is the most hated character in the show, and within the show, from people seeing what she's really like, and from viewers like me, because she's just a bitch. She tried to frame Naofumi for doing the R word to her, when she didn't even enter the room they were meant to be sleeping in again after he entered it. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on all my social medias. And until next time, guys, which will be a list video next, and one I can't believe I've not made before. It's going to be a good one, trust me. But until next time, catch you later.